All right. So, hi everyone. I am super happy to be here today to share my experience in tech as a female consultant. I hope that my talk will inspire you and give you trust in your own path in tech. My name is Juliette. I am an IT consultant at Netlight, and I joined the stage today in the scope of the CodePub initiative that we have at Netlight. So, what is the CodePub? The CodePub, it's an international network with events for women and non-binary people who want to learn about IT, for beginners as well as for professionals. Our goal is to empower every single woman and non-binary person in the tech industry by creating a platform where one can be inspired and inspire others. So speaking time in the private or the professional spheres is monopolized by men, and here we give 100% of the speaking time to female and non-binary people. So we give the stage to young and experienced professionals, creating a safe space for everyone and allowing each of us to grow. The CodePub was created by Netlight in the spring of 2013 with the purpose of increasing the number of women and non-binary in the IT industry. We believe that we can make a difference if we lower the thresholds for getting started with programming and if we highlight female role models within IT. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about my path. So it's a path of trust from mechanical engineering to a career in tech. Wrong card, sorry. No. All right, So it all started with the question when I was younger and knew what will you do when you grow up. So as a child, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was really good in mathematics and physics at school. I had the best grade in my class, and I just decided then to follow my father's path, who did an engineering career. Actually, he did software engineering, so it's quite funny. But then I didn't really know, so I just took like engineering as a career path, and I picked mechanical engineering in the end, and I picked a minor in mechatronics. So mechatronics, it's about also electronics, software, and mechanical. So it was not so far away from software engineering, but then I realized then that when I started to work, I started working in totally a different area. So I started working as a quality engineer in the automotive industry in a first-year supplier called Valeo. And then I was not super happy in this environment. So I was really feeling that I was among sharks around me. I was feeling stuck in quality, and I was feeling stuck in automotive. So I didn't really feel a career path in front of me. Like I didn't really feel where I could improve, change my career. So then I was in Paris. I'm from France, as you can guess from my accent. And now I'm here in Berlin talking to you about a tech career. So why did I decided to move to Berlin? So, of course, for the doner, we don't have that in Paris, the doner kebab and the burger. That was the main reason why I moved here. Of course not. So I moved to Berlin for many reasons. So first, I wanted to have an experience abroad. I wanted to live abroad. I didn't want to live anymore in France. Then with my partner, we seized an opportunity where he could secure a job in Berlin, and then I just decided that I was fed up with, as I told you, my first career in quality. I was not feeling so well in this path. I really wanted something different. I wanted something where I could learn a lot, where I could grow as an engineer, like do something more technical also, because in quality it was not feeling so much technical in the end. Yeah, so for all these reasons, I decided to move to Berlin. And I was really interested by everything towards tech. So I had a lot of people around me who were in tech, who are software engineers, and I think that they are really thriving in their working environment. So when I arrived in Berlin, actually I was like, okay, if I want to change career, I change country, now it's the time to do something new. So I took a web development bootcamp called Le Wagon. So this is where I learned JavaScript, Ruby on Rails mainly, and also to work to work in groups, how to deploy mini projects. And also it gives you really a feeling of how to start a real startup. So you really have this experience by doing that kind of bootcamp. So it worked pretty well. And at the end of the bootcamp, I was in contact with some people that I met during the bootcamp who were in the, let's say, in the network of the bootcamp. And I applied for their project, sort of, because I was super interested in their project. It was an environmental project in France. And then, because I connected to these people, I became a freelancer and worked as a software engineer, so front-end developer in React. And I also took the chance to work as a teacher assistant at Le Wagon. So it means that after Le Wagon bootcamp, when you're done with your own bootcamp, you can then support teaching by becoming a teacher assistant at Le Wagon. But then I was working. So then I was working as a freelancer, and I was mainly working for a friend's project in France, remote, while in Berlin. And then I was wondering, okay, now I'm in Berlin, I work for France, and I moved to Berlin to move away from France. So am I here to settle in Berlin or just go back to France? So that was really a shifting point. I really had to decide. So I decided that I really want to settle here in Berlin, and I started looking for jobs, and I landed the first front-end developer role in a small agency here in Berlin. The tech stack was not the latest one, like it was Vanilla.js and jQuery for the front end. So after 1 year, almost 1 year, I decided to search for a new job again, and I found Netlight. Or I like to say Netlight found me, because people from Netlight contacted me on LinkedIn, and this is where I work now, and I'm at Netlight now for 2 years. So what made me believe that I could do it? What made me believe that I could do such a big change? So of course, I can tell you it was not an easy change. I had to face a lot of uncertainty. I decided also, maybe don't do that, change everything, country, career, all at once. I don't advise that. Just change one thing at a time, that's way better. And yeah, so when I arrived here in Berlin, I didn't have the network. My master diploma in mechanical engineering was barely recognized. I didn't speak well enough the language, still don't know. And I didn't have the skills for the new job I wanted in tech. So I think what helped me a lot was the key was trust. So there were people around me who were super supportive, like my partner who is also in tech, but also like a lot of friends, a lot of network that I had, and that was super supportive. And I found also that in tech you can find a lot of supportive people. So go get these people around you and use them, use your network try to find, like, if you want to do something like I did with a career change, try to find mentors, like ask questions to people who made it, ask questions to people who are already in the tech industry while not having done bootcamp. Like really try to connect as much as you can with people and try to connect very closely with some of them so that they can really support you when you need the support. Also, don't listen to detractors. I would just say that, for example, my parents were not super in favor of me moving, they were not super in favor of me going to this uncertainty and so on about my career change. And for that, like, just don't listen. Like, people who don't support you, like, they will support you in the end when you manage it. So, like, they will be, oh yeah, you did great, yeah, but you were not supporting at the beginning, so that's maybe sometimes not nice. And yeah, so in overall, don't listen to people who are detractors, who are not trusting you. Yeah, and also trust, something really important about trust. So I said trust, try to find that people who are supportive, who have trust in you, but also a super important thing is that you have to trust yourself to do this change of career. You have to work hard to land this change. And yeah, you have to find the opportunities, talk to people, like really try to find things that really interest you. So for example, when I said I talked to an environmental project I was really interested in, and then they just hired me as a freelancer. That's super important. That's super what you have to do. Like, go for things that you love, and then people will be, oh, this person is super interested and knows things about this topic. So yeah, this person is worth it. And now what? So you landed a job in tech, but you have to continue growing when you land a job, especially in the tech industry. It doesn't fall from the sky also, landing a job or growing. So you have to do a hard work, and the hard work will pay for sure. And especially in tech, I think that so many open source resources are there that you can use to learn and grow. Whereas in other fields, it is way much more hidden. As for example, for me in the automotive industry, like things were really like blurry, and I think in tech we have this opportunity that everything is online, so many things are open source, so just use these tools, use these resources to develop your career. Yeah, and now I am like shaping my career at Netlight. So I've been there for 2 years now, and my goal is now to become a senior software developer. So nobody is taking you by the hand to, after you land a job, you're like, yeah, I'm a software engineer, but no, that's not the end of the road. Then you can grow so much. So like my goal is to become a senior software developer, and I am super glad to be at Netlight for that, because I really feel that in this company we have a lot of tools to develop skills, technical ones or soft ones. You have, for example, mentoring. We have mentors at Netlight, and these people are there to just guide you. They are like not your manager, but they are here to listen to your career aspirations, guide you along the way, and they give you the tools to really become who you want to be. But you have to know who you want to be also. So one advice that I would give you also in a career in tech is that take decisions. Don't be like I was when I was younger, not knowing what I want to do, and let's see what will come out of my studies. You really have to take decisions, even if it's a wrong one, even if in the end you don't really like what you're doing. I think it's super important that you take a decision, you go for it, and maybe if you don't like it, then you figure out at least that you don't like it, and you can do something else after. Yeah, and also, yeah, I already said it, but really try to have that in your working environment, that you have peers and that you can trust, and you can build trust relationships with them. That's super important, that you have a network in your working environment that you can rely on to build skills, to know if you are going in the right direction, and if you're not, that these people can also tell you. Like, they are here to guide you to become a better person, and they are also here to tell you when you're not on the right path. So that's another advice. And also, a spoiler alert, you don't need to be a geek who started coding at the age of 13 to be a successful software engineer or software developer. And even if it's still full of men now, I think in the tech industry it is one of the most open-minded domain towards gender equality. So let's seize this opportunity and have more female in the tech industry. So that's the end already. So if you want to talk further about these topics of career change, career and tech, trust, if you have any questions, I am at the CodePub booth M20 just behind. And like the crew for the Netlight team is also here. Yeah, next to the big horse. Maybe you've seen it already. So please come by and thank you.
Thank you for this motivating speech. And you can ask your questions now if you want. But you can think about it and come to her too. She will be there. And I have a question. What was your coolest project you worked on so far?
So I work in a healthcare industry company, quite a big one here in Berlin. And we supported researchers, medical researchers, to build like a search engine. And I think it was a really cool opportunity of work for me. So, yeah.
Does no one have questions? I can translate if you want to ask in German. Yes?
Hello. First of all, thank you so much. It was really insightful.
Thank you.
I have a special question. Have you ever felt like underestimated just to the fact that maybe in tech you can find a lot of, I would say like men, and since I'm working as project manager in an IT project, time to time I can feel overwhelmed by a lot of information, but time to time could happen that I also feel underestimated. I don't know if you have ever experienced that. Thank you.
I would say yes in general, but I would also say that sometimes even me as a female, I tend to maybe not underestimate, but I'm a bit biased towards women. I would think that a woman looks younger or looks maybe less professional, or that's more or less. I won't say like the person as a female looks more younger, and then I would be like, oh, maybe this person has less experience than the male guy who just looks older. And this for me is super important because I also myself need to work on like biases I have, and I think everyone should work on that, and especially then women should really trust each other also and build even higher trust between themselves. And that's what I'm working on.
Thank you.
So did you ever felt like, so basically did you have this imposter syndrome where you felt that you were not at your place and not in the right maybe field as well, and how did you manage to overcome?
Yeah, so I think the imposter syndrome is like everyone has that. I would say, especially when you come from a bootcamp, you don't have the right diploma in front of your CV. But I think that in tech, at some point, like really, it's at the beginning that you mainly feel that. But at some point, it's just what you deliver on the daily basis, and maybe at the beginning of your career, you will feel that a lot. But I think when it comes to years and years of software development, then you don't feel that anymore. And as I said, you have a lot of tools to learn, so it's just there to grab. So it's just there to grab for you and to build your skills on that. And whenever you put the effort to really develop your skills, learn a lot, and the other ones don't do, even if they have a better diploma or whatever, then you can really overcome this feeling and just learn by yourself things that you don't know.
I have a follow-up question to that. What is the thing that you did and made you realize right away that you were exactly where you should be? Maybe a project or something that happened, or people that you came across and you met?
Mm-hmm. I think for me what is super important in the software industry is that I can pick the field where I'm working. So I'm not stuck into like the automotive or an environmental project or something else. I can really choose for which field I can work. So that's one main thing for me that was super cool with the tech. And also what I really love is all these open source tools that you can learn so much. Everything is online. Like people take care of putting stuff online for you and you're just, wow, that's amazing. And then you just want to contribute as well. Yeah, so that's this powerful feeling, I think, that makes me really into software engineering.
Thank you. Good luck.
I had something on my mind when you talked about software engineering, and then I also know you privately because we work together. Is there something that you learned in software engineering that you can also use in your private life? Something that, I don't know, links to that or that really helped you when you learned that in your career?
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit odd, but I really like to do a retro for myself. So I do monthly retros, so which helps me to know, like I set up targets, monthly targets. I set up like, I don't know, for running or number of steps that I do, books that I read per month, or things like that. So I set up a lot of goals like that, and it's coming directly from from the Scrum mindset to have like you have cycles, and then at the end of the cycle you check with yourself, okay, what did I deliver in this cycle? So it's really possible to apply it to your personal life, and then you set up new goals for the coming cycles or for the coming month or the coming year.